Good evening, everyone. I am Madhugandha, and today we are gathered here on the eve of Saraswati Puja. First of all, happy Saraswati Puja to everyone. We are gathered here to discuss about the importance of education in developing countries like India. Education is like the basic right to everyone in this country, but still, um, it's not available to many. So we are going to discuss about that and the new laws that have been uh, added to make it more approachable to everyone, and the laws that are passed in the union budget and more about it. So before we start, Lavanya is going to give us a brief introduction about the topic. Lavanya.
Yeah. So, human resource is the most important resource in today's age and time. Human knowledge, efficiency, and diligence plays the key role in the growth of every industry, ranging from infrastructure to technology, thus becoming the key aspect in development of a country. Hence, it becomes all the more crucial to provide the right tools and to correctly shape up the human resource of a nation. And without a doubt, the best and the most important way in shaping up a person is the education they receive, thus ensuring that education is the backbone of any country's future. And this, in fact, is supported by statistics of higher literacy rates in developed countries. However, there are many aspects of concern when we discuss about education. For example, is the conventional education system imparting the right amount of knowledge in youth? As in yesteryears, we have seen many college and school dropouts being more successful than toppers of educational institutions. And whether the catch 24 environment of the educational institutions in which good quality education requires huge amount of money, whereas to earn the money, the prerequisite is good quality education itself. Does this loop of money and education deprives us of necessary talent and hinders the growth of talented individuals? Moreover, is education enough for the development of country? As mostly statistics show that educated youth often tend to leave the nation, thus creating a brain drain and providing little to no contribution in development of their own country. And last but not the least, is there a bias in education being provided to individuals based on their gender, race, caste, economic background, etc.? Should we focus more on eradicating discrimination before providing education? There are many such questions surrounding the basic idea of importance of education in developing countries like India. And we are going to discuss all of that in today's session.
Thank you, Lavanya. You made some really good points. Like to get education, you need to pay loads of money, and to get that load of money, you need to be educated. So there's exactly a loophole, like you mentioned. Anyone else who wants to add something to Lavanya's point, or like a point she mentioned? Any comment on that? If anyone wants to make. Okay, so that's fine. So recently, the government launched the union budget as on February 1st, like every year, and they made some plans for improving the education. Salim, the secretary of the Finance Club, will tell us more about it. Salim?
Hello all. Yeah, so as expected, there were some reforms made in the union budget this year, and there has been an increase of 12% in the budget allocation for education, which was needed because like last year, many teachers had told like many teachers had informed the center and the states that the budget allocations were already over up until December. So, there is a huge need, a huge demand for education in this country as expected of the volume of children and the huge population that we have. And it is necessary for all to get the best education they can get. So that requires money. So Yeah, so and also with schools again opening up, schools need money and everything else to open up once again and give students safe and healthy education in these times. So that was a very welcome step from the government, as also they've extended the e-Vidya scheme, which now has 200 channels for all types of education. I think they've also added regional languages and everything else. So that has also been a big boost for because we don't know how many more times we'll have to go into lockdown, and schools will have to remain closed. So how that comes out to help the students who are, especially from the lower background students who can't access education as well as we can, who have mobile phones and laptops in their homes. So it is a big boost for them because they can access these channels from their homes pretty easily. So it is a big boost for those children and everyone else who needs those requirements, and who can't meet those requirements. So there were some pretty good announcements. Some were still disappointed, but let's not everyone can be appeased now. So
There were some plans about digital universities as well, right? They were
yeah, but like I couldn't read much upon it, so I don't know much about it. So
Yeah, so basically it was like they are going to establish digital universities and they will provide degree on through digital platform only. And you mentioned the eVidya plan. You will have your own local regional language channel in where you can study. Like there will be a Hindi subject and you can study it in Marathi. So
yeah, that is a very good,
yeah,
because many students like in south or in the east where they don't understand Hindi, it will be a big barrier for them if they can't access those channels.
even many people in India still don't understand English, and all the content available from great universities are in English only, right? So this will help them a lot. Yeah. Okay, so what part can we play in the spread of education in our country? Have you guys volunteered yourself anytime to teach some students that are in need or something like that? Have any of you volunteered earlier for something like that? Yes, Lavanya?
I guess yes, I have volunteered and I have this experience of teaching children who have not, who do not have the access to quality education. But what we have seen is that we can educate them and we can try our best to educate them. But there's still this lack of knowledge and this ambiguity against what they will do with this education. For that, you really need to set up a huge system on a very large scale for them to really understand the importance of knowledge. We can teach them English, we can teach them the basics of English, nouns, etc. But what they really need is why they need this education. It's
Yeah, they
the
need the
basic
correct
part of that.
motivation, why they need to study and what is it going to bring in their life. They need that motivation right now. Uh, Anyone else who has volunteered?
So
Yeah, Salim.
I'll just expand upon that because nowadays like even a basic bachelor's degree is not so what do you say, it's not like people don't get jobs only
It's not enough. Yeah.
yeah, it's not enough. Yeah, so uh, with the standard of education rising so high, so students who can't afford even the basic education get left out because of it. So yeah, they need that well, you can say encouragement and also motivation to pursue more education, and also be confident that they can succeed in life if they do choose to work hard and pursue their ambitions.
Yeah, and in many parts, it's like you need to do only the family business. So why do you need to study so rigorously? But it's not the case. If you study hard and you have the knowledge, you can expand your business and you make it even bigger than it already was. So need of education is like everywhere. And on that note, I will also like to make a point like in today's digital world, everyone is like leaving education and coming on the digital platform, creating a YouTube channel, Instagram, becoming an influencer, and they leave all their education and everything, even before 18. So there was one point where I read somewhere like, do you think like a basic education till the age of 18 should it be made compulsory or not? So what do you guys think? Like leaving education even before like getting the basic education, like up to intermediate 12th class, you should know everything. Is it it's the basic requirement, and people nowadays are not doing that because they are already having a kind of job on the digital media platform and they are happy with what they earn and they choose not to study more. So what do you guys think? Let me know. You can raise your hand.
I guess we already have it up until 8th, right? So
Yeah. But do you
uh,
see the need to make it up to 12th or like up to 18th?
I'd say you can argue on both sides on it, because many families are not that well off to send their kids to school, you know, till 12th standard. So many choose to, because if we start pulling that barrier high, people will start faking documents, and that
Exactly.
that
There's
thing
another
comes in.
side also
Yeah,
where
yeah.
that those things come. Yeah,
So
Utkarsh.
Yeah, but basically, if you talk about the government institution, so nowadays it's quite cheap for the education. Like if one want to pursue, then he or she can get free of cost books also. And meanwhile, you can see like I was reading this newspaper like a quite back. There's a lot of educational channel has been released on D2H, which is free to home. So I guess now accessibility to education is much easier. But what the problem we face is people are not quite aware what accessibility they can have for it. So like if we talk about education among, or maybe like if you talk about the knowledge usement among the from the weaker section, what people know basically is that yeah, if we are having smartphones, so that it must be for either doing some payment like we used to do, or maybe using for its social media or some insta or reels and all. Nobody uses it for the gaining knowledge. So it's not the use of actual what the smartphone quote unquote means. So that part, if uh, can be encouraged among the people, that how you can use the apps for more widely, then like even take the example of the NPTEL we are having in IITM. NPTEL offers a lot of course which is not quite easily available in either of the colleges. What courses are being taught by the IIT professors, but again people do not know. Like even I also didn't know that about NPTEL before joining this degree course. So
and
that's
it's quite cheap.
yeah, it's quite cheap. You get a certificate for mere 1,000 rupees. Like you, and even if you want to take certificate, you want to attempt exam. If you don't want to attempt exam, you just want to gain knowledge. You just join the course, watch the videos.
It's free of cost.
Yeah, it's free of cost. So that's the thing. So I think lack of knowledge and awareness is quite a big deal. That is creating the gap.
Okay, so we came to the point of digitalization and everything, digital learning and everything. What do you guys prefer? Online learning or like the face-to-face learning that we used to have? Which one do you think is better and why?
Let's face
Anyone?
it, we all want offline lectures and online exams.
That's true. Anyone else?
If you ask me, like you know, online has its own beneficials or benefits, but again it's quite hectic when you are studying diploma course on the online. So you know like if you ask me to study anything quite not relevant to the course, like you want to watch some historical uh, stories related to history, like based on either Changiz Khan or maybe some historical things or maybe some international relations, so I would love to watch it online because you have lot of material, or learn programming if it is not emphasized that you have to learn it for the marks or the CGPA. So yeah, it would be fun, but doing otherwise it's quite tough on my behalf. Same goes, I think, with the like with similarly with the offline. But you guys also give your views about offline.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, Kunal, you go ahead first.
Okay, so regarding offline and online learning, I think for a country like India, which is growing, and like the topic is about how it will be beneficial for India. So I would say India is growing into a very entrepreneurial country with many people wanting to do many things side by side. Like nowadays, even for degrees, like us people are doing 2 degrees side by side, or some people who are even in college or something, like we see in the western world where children are starting to work side jobs, or uh, are pushed towards an entrepreneurial spirit from an early age. So it is important for a country like ours to have this online option as a thing to depend upon. So for last thing, like I would mention, for people like me who want to do multiple things side by side, so having an online option with a chance to get a degree online, and maybe being able to uh, increase my outlook as an entrepreneur could help me. So I think this things like these are a progressive step, and the way education is delivered across India can change the course of the development of the country. Thank you.
That's true. Also, you can explore many things, many new things that you have never done before. You can explore in the online. Like I have taken a course on. I wanted to learn graphical designing and everything, so I'm taking a course and I'm learning it because it's not taught in engineering, basic engineering course. It's not the part of it, and I would never get to learn it if I were in college because I don't have the time. 9 to 5 close schedule, and after that extracurricular activities and all those things. So you get to explore more in the online form, that's for sure. Yes, Salim.
Not just graphical designing, you can learn like something totally away from your, from what you're learning right now, like your from what you're pursuing as your profession. You can like to learn drama or music, anything online right now. There are
That's
all
true.
sorts of courses.
Exactly. So anything you have opted for? Nothing?
Not right now.
That's cool. So we'll
Because
go.
of both these things are, yeah, IT
Yeah, yeah.
drains your time.
Yeah, but I planned for Japanese, but unfortunately I couldn't make it to the end. So still it's on the pending part.
I had taken German last month from NPTEL. I had taken German last term from NPTEL. I couldn't do it because of all this.
Yeah, because those courses are too heavy. It's in within
Yeah.
themselves. You have to do a
You
lot.
know, this year
Because
I'll
it's
have a
almost like a
day in
4 credit
German.
course now. Like we'll have to like specifically devote that much time.
Yeah, yeah,
You
Madhu, you
know,
were saying.
this year I'll get my BA degree in German. I'm
Heck,
doing it from my college now, so I'll get a BA degree in German after this.
but still you have to do some elective courses again. You cannot
No,
transfer.
that I'm doing from my college. I'll get the degree.
So you know German, huh?
Yeah, yeah, I know German. I won't do it again for the NPTEL course and extra credits. It's not.
Yeah.
I'm not doing
And
that.
then it's
Okay.
done. Then it's
Yeah,
done. Like Celine,
yeah, yeah.
we can take tutoring from Madhuganda for the German languages in coming days.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, Madhuganda won't back up.
No.
Okay.
Okay, Kunal.
Yeah, Kunal and Lavanya are waiting.
Okay. Regarding doing things side by side, I have a few friends across the top institutes in India, and from them I hear a lot about how they are presented with
मेरी
so many.
रिक्वेस्ट किसने चलाया कैरी?
So the meeting is being recorded, so please, everyone, do not interrupt anyone else
and
before raising your hand. Yeah.
yes, we were supposed to wear yellow. No.
Okay, so
Okay,
Kunal,
okay.
please
So
continue.
yes, yes.
Yes, the innermost layer is yellow. उसके ऊपर एक blue है और उसके ऊपर एक grey है.
So regarding the students doing internships side by side, I have heard that many people are now able to pursue their course which they have. They are able to even people on campus degrees are able to pursue their exchange degrees also online side by side, and along with that they are able to do multiple internships along with it, and with that also they are taking some courses online which they wouldn't have been able to do if they were on campus degrees. So things like these are promoting uh, what this would enable students to do is, if the pandemic or the lockdown goes on and students are still studying this way, so the number of qualifications, the average number of qualifications each graduate would have would be very much higher than what students were able to accomplish on off campus degrees. Like the students coming out of college now would have around 2 degrees and 3 to 4 internship experiences. So that is something which is which has been pushed heavily naturally by the pandemic. So the way of educating people has been changed, and anyone can across India take this opportunity.
That's true. That's true. Lavanya?
Yeah. The another con of the education system that we have nowadays is that even if you look at the syllabus of any degree, they are teaching the same 4 year syllabus that they have decided 20 years ago, and they are teaching that same syllabus to every batch that comes on. Like if you look at a field which is as dynamic as computer science, the language which is being used by professionals keeps changing. At least 2 years, the language which is being used in to actually develop is continuously changing, and we are still being taught like the language which was decided 20 years ago. So that is also very big con of the education system that we are going through. And because of the pandemic, we have had the opportunity to learn other things which are actually being used and which are actually practical. So that has been a big advantage. But also the other side of the coin will definitely be that we have missed the college experience as such. So
And don't you think like moral education is a lost cause in the online degree? Because if you see like teachers are getting exploited and everything, because no one knows, like we have a systematic way of our IT and everything, but not every college or every university can have the access to a domain of their own and manage everything quite perfectly. So students get a virtual face and everything, and they exploit the teachers and don't get enough. Obviously you mentioned like you don't have the college experience and everything. Don't you think like these things are missing out there in the online education?
yeah, you like in my opinion, like in every online classroom, which in every college, there has been one instance of a teacher being bullied by a student, and nothing could be done against it, because that is just the anonymity that this online system provides us. So yeah, there definitely has been a lack of it. But with everything, you get some, you lose some. It is up to individual that how they balance it and how they use it for their own benefit.
Yes, Kunal.
I would like to say something about the accessibility of education throughout India. So, as is known that India has many ed tech startups coming up recently, and many are being acquired and spread across India. So, one thing that I came across recently was that if there is a company like let's say Topper or Akash or something. See, so if you and what they do is as the companies have some CSR, so what they do is they give you their educational packages at discounted prices. Okay, and if you opt for their courses, they even deliver the same in remote areas of India. So they would give the books and the tablets and everything with the videos preloaded to anyone sitting at any remote location in India, to help with preparation for competitive exams, or preparation for their schooling, and helping their schooling, etc. So once that happens, so things like loading all the video lectures and notes and everything on a tablet and giving them to the needy, or the ones who cannot afford education, like some people normally. That is a very good step that helps India with, as much competition arises in form of different startups.
Yes, Celine?
Yeah, wow, that I didn't know that, because my next point was because like online, the only con of online studies is because these children who are coming from the backward classes, or who don't live in locations which have good network connections, so, or tribal areas, or in high altitude areas like Kashmir, and Kashmir, where they don't even have like uh, if if this comes true, what Kunal was saying, that is a very big boost to all the students who can't afford access education like that.
True. Yeah, Lavanya?
Yeah, what Kunal just said also reminded me of, like even at individual basis, not just startups, and even at individual basis, a lot of steps are being taken. Like for instance, in my neighborhood only, a group of DU students who have been my school friends, they just started a new NGO. The only thing that they do is provide education to the underprivileged. They have made a group now. Their degree is online, so in their spare times, they have a lot of spare time. So, like the DU has this culture now of you know of all these co-curricular activities, but because of, so what they did was they made a group of friends is collected, and
Is it me or it's our network?
they teach underprivileged students there, and a group of students even went to Ladakh. There is some NGO that is working over there, and they collaborated with them, and they're teaching over there. So a lot of such steps are being taken at individual level and at very low scale, and which is very beneficial for everyone.
Yeah, that's great. Also, getting into the school, it's not that easy nowadays, right? Because in the private school, you will have so many norms that you need to follow, or you have to wear a proper certain uniform, you have to maintain the management fees, bus fees, everything. It's not accessible for everyone, right? So on that point, what do you think? Like, if given the choice, what would you prefer? All students having the same uniform, or like wear whatever you want, but in a decent manner? What would you choose? Yes, Utkarsh.
Like, if you would ask me, I would say that having uniform is much better. It gives you the sense of uniformity, rather than like, if you are allowed to wear whatever you want. So, and then again there will be like a group of people who are having a fashionable sense, and other group of people who are not that good at their fashion, or maybe not good at with the financial background, would be struggling that, yeah, and there will be some feeling of the inferiority among the students ki, yeah, I cannot be like that person, he looks so great. But when you wear the school uniform, everybody looks very equal, and in the same manner, and there is no need. Like, if you ask me, I studied in convent school, and never thought ki what how am I looking, like, it was so general. So it was because everyone, irrespective of from whatever family background you are coming, you are just coming to the school with the same platform. You are performing your best, the one who performs the best is coming out, that's all. So I believe uniform is a good thing to have in schools.
Okay, so Celine.
Yeah, true. I agree with Utkarsh on this, because uniforms are like even decent has like, it is subjective to every person. So there will be a different definition to decentness in Mumbai, to Delhi, to Chennai, or to the east, like wherever it will change every 50 meters. So you can't, and if you go on like defining it, like rigidly defining it, it will eventually become a uniform. So what's the need?
Sorry, Kunal, what do you think? Do you agree?
Okay, so I have a little contrarian view to what Utkarsh and Celine said. So in my opinion, actually, I think if you look at the education systems worldwide, okay, we can all agree that America has the most superior education system that there is. So as we know that any person that is growing up in any country, if he gets to study at a institute like Harvard or Stanford or any of the state colleges in USA, he or she, given that he or she has the funds to take the course or everything, they can they will surely opt for going and studying in that course, I mean, just for the course duration, actually, not going to spend their lives in America or something. So and one thing that I think it does mentally for students is that it makes students aware and ready to acknowledge the differences that they have at a very early age. So if they
Agreed,
see that,
agreed.
if all students have a different perspective on things and I think it becomes very easy for people to acknowledge, to get accustomed to the real world way early in life. So by the time they grow up to an age of 12 or 13, they would already know that the real world isn't equal in the way that people dress and the way the people look. So it is better that that people are getting ready to view that those differences clearly. And even when we go to college, so that uniform thing is just scrapped. So if we are going to just go to college and wear different clothes altogether, so it is better that that thing is enforced from the start. That is my opinion on it, actually. So yes, that.
Utkarsh?
On the point, if like though Kunal said a correct point and his views were very very appropriate. Like when I was younger, I used to like I have watched a lot of Hollywood movies and I was quite inspired by the Hollywood background they used to set up for their movies. And so what I could just contradict to that point, like if you want to set the mentality or change the mentality, so we can do that in the uniform also. So there's nobody is stopping you. You have some premium schools which are having very elegant and very respectful uniform, which are they look very nice, and they also gives you a broad mindset how one should be behaving in front of your classmates or the course mates. So like by making it civil dress code doesn't make that easier for me. So I will just go for the this uniform.
Okay, so I too believe like many people first of all cannot afford their private school wala uniform if they have to pick one, and this also implants some kind of what do you say irritation in the mind of the children, and they start to improve the uniform in their own way. Like you know what I'm trying
Yeah,
to
yeah,
say.
that was a point I was going to say before, Kunal, but
So I don't think like it does what are you saying, Celine? Do you agree or not? No, you don't agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, no, I agree with you. Yeah, like
yeah.
there are, if you say there are pros and cons to everything, so there are things that you can argue against, but there are some things that you just can't, you know, like uniforms are there are. I don't know, because maybe we've been like brought up like that, and we've seen only uniforms all our lives at school. Actually, at school only. So at school level, we've only seen uniforms. So it becomes like a very uh, different thing to even think about.
Okay, so we talked about a lot of things. What next? Improvement of education in our country. What should
Yeah,
be
so a
next?
quick question for everyone. Like,
Yeah.
what are your views on NEP 2020 as there is no clarity on its implementation? And nowadays, I'm seeing students from class 6, they are learning to code and they are following entrepreneurship. So, what are the views on that? Like, how it will change our nation or build our nation?
Yes, Kunal.
So regarding NEP, the thing I found most fascinating was that the ability for students to change majors as they go through college. That was something which fascinated me a lot on how as we know, students, even when they start to do a degree, for example in engineering or something, and in 2 years they change their minds, and it changes the way, and people change the way, the students change the way they think. So i- so NEP is basically, in my opinion, a way to diverge away from the education system that was given to India by outsiders, and go into a more free flowing system which could help everyone into adapting the education system to themselves instead of adapting to the education system. So that is what is what fascinates me, and what makes me think that it is a good step towards bettering education.
True. The next topic that I thought we should discuss is like the competition among the students, the ranking system and the roll number system. First roll number is like monitor and the god of the class, like that. What do you guys think about that?
Was that the system there?
In my school, it was like all the students.
That's something new. I didn't know about this.
You didn't knew earlier it was like now they have started to change it like according to your name like alphabetical order, but earlier it was like the one student who scores the most is like roll number one, and the second and the third and the fourth, and they all got to become the
Oh,
superior students of the class, and they are like the monitors, and every teacher used to take care of them very seriously. So that was the system earlier when I was in the school. So
oh, this is something new. I never knew this.
you didn't know
Yeah,
that?
that needs to be changed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
My,
So if
my
you
school
guys didn't,
it was alphabetic.
अच्छा, सही था. Yes, Kunal.
Regarding that, and ranking students according to how they perform in previous classes or how they're performing currently, I think this practice is something which is embedded in the school system or education system of India at many levels, and which I myself has experienced at my school level, and I've seen in different tuition classes and college levels, as there is a lot of discrimination on the perceived intelligence level of students. So if one set of students is not able to perform, and let's say gets below a percentage of 70, they are not uh, they are not given the chance, or they are not uh, treated equally as the students who score 85 and hit 85% and above. So what this does is, the students who are not initially good at studying or something, is it creates a divide between the students, due to it creates a divide between students at a very early level, and even in tuition classes in India. And let me tell you, tuition is something as rampant as it is in India, it is unique to India. So what happens is, in tuition classes also, there are different batches that are created by uh, the classes, and the one who is in the first batch gets all the attention to score well in competitive exams, and the one who falls in the lower batches is not given much attention, so they are not able to perform and make a career for themselves. So yes, that is my opinion.
Yes, thank you, Kunal. Also, what do you guys think about the teaching approach that is followed in this, in our schools or like in the primary schools? Is it the way to teach? Yes, Anshuman. Yes, go ahead.
Hi, thanks for recognizing me. Great event, guys. So I think I want to talk about the teaching method. And why is everyone laughing? Okay, so the teaching method and also schools in general. So there's this story in Greek mythology. This story of Procrustes. Okay, so Procrustes, what he used to do was that he was a very enthusiastic host. So in the sense that he would actually kidnap his guests off the street. He would give them a lavish dinner, and then at the end of the night, he used to have a bed. All right, so he would make people fit in that bed. So someone who was too tall, his legs were chopped off, so he would fit in that bed. And if someone was too short, their limbs would be stretched out, so they would completely fit in that bed. So I think, and this is actually not my analogy. This is Nassim Talib's analogy. That school is exactly like that. So it's like there's a very fixed curriculum. There are these subjects, all right, and there is one way of teaching, and whoever basically everyone's forced to perform well in all of those subjects in the way that they're taught, and it's not like customized as per who you are. So I think instead of changing people to fit to the curriculum should change according to people. And because we live in a very convex world, it does not matter if you're good at all of the subjects. It matters what you're really good at, and you should really focus on that. So let's say someone's like really great at investments. Okay, so that person shouldn't worry about studying the flow of electricity in circuits if that doesn't excite him. So that person should probably drop out of college and yeah, just do what they focus on. So I think and then also another fault in the way things are taught in schools historically has been that they basically give you a theory, all right, and then they teach you that whole theory. Like for example, they'll tell you, for example, uh, um, X scientists model of the atom, and then they'll tell you about it. And what should actually happen is it should be application based in the sense that they should ask you, like, okay, you know what, you want to fix the engine of a car, and then like you go top down in the sense that you want to solve that problem, and in order to solve that problem, what all you need to learn, and you put all the pieces together and then you solve that problem. And then another really big problem with academia is that like there's a lot of signaling, and then also there's this problem that a lot of people who become primary school teachers actually get there because of the financial incentives, or because like often like for example in say for example schools in Gurgaon, people will become teachers because they could not succeed at doing something else. So uh, I think the way that can be solved is like for example the way startups are right now. Like the best person in the world gets to do it for everyone, and once you have like large scale online education, whoever is like the best mathematics instructor can become the mathematics instructor for all of the country. And like whoever is interested in those courses, they should be able to go into those courses. So I think people should be like given a taste of everything, and then instead of forcing them to do all of those things, and especially forcing people to do things they don't like people should be allowed to pick and choose what they like, and then just double down on that. So I think that way we're also a more productive society, because people of course like when you're passionate about something and you also have you natural aptitude for it, nobody can compete with you on that. And then a lot of people, like in fact I think there are numbers like lots of surveys, like around 80% people are not satisfied with their jobs or feel that they're in the wrong jobs. So I think if we give people that optionality early on, people would likely choose correct careers. And like I think optionality should be built into every level of education. And those are my 2 cents. Yeah, thanks.
Utkarsh, you wanted to add something, right? Raise your hand.
Yeah, but yeah, Anshuman already said those points.
Okay. I also believe that teachers should be lenient and make students comfortable with them, because many a times it happens like students are not comfortable, so they don't even speak up about the doll or anything. Yes, Utkarsh.
Yeah, you go ahead after the you.
Any doubts they have or any confusion they have, they are not confident enough or comfortable enough to speak up to the teacher and ask him and clear their doubts. So yeah, that also is a major backdrop. Yes, Utkarsh, you can go now.
Yeah, like what I wanted to add, like don't know, like yeah, like when we passed and when we were in our primary or middle, we didn't had this much of opportunities. But yeah, I can say, and what I have seen in present scenario, like whatever right now the students or the students who are right now in their primary have a much better access to the wideness of the subject. What I have seen that they are not right now, they are not forced to some particular subject. They are left free to choose their subjects. And plus, I am hoping and crossing fingers how our new education policy works, like which allows from ninth and 10th itself to students that whatever subjects they can choose for themselves. So let's see how schools bring that up upon how various teachers motivate students to take different subjects. And definitely I would be one of the persons who will regret that we didn't had this much of choice. Like if you want to choose physics, you can, and don't want to choose chemistry, but you had to study chemistry because it is with the physics, so you can't do physics without chemistry. So being the part of that curriculum will be one of the regret. But let's see how new education policy, bring up the new generation which is coming just next to us, and let's hope it comes out very good.
True. So any other point anyone wants to make before we? Yes, Lavanya.
I totally agree with giving app number of options to everyone. But the tricky part in this equation, according to me, is like when we give a lot of options to a high schooler who is like a teenager, he cannot even make their day to day decisions. They cannot even like uh, decide the basic things. Like we give them the options which will decide their future career. And just like Anshman said, that give them the taste of everything and then let them decide. So the tricky part is how much exposure should be given to them, like, and how much do they need to know to be able to like make a informed decision about their future at such a tender age. Maybe they make a decision of their own accord, and then in future they regret it. And it, also a very crucial part in this equation becomes they have to have good advisors. And mostly for children at that age, the advisors are their parents, their teachers, and their parents and their teachers are of that previous generations only, and they have those conceptions and preconceptions of what is right and what is wrong. Science is right and arts is for not so bright children. They already have these preconceptions, and their advisors are such. So it also depends, it has a lot of factors. It just not depends on giving them the taste of everything and then letting them decide, because firstly they're at such a tender age. Secondly, or what they're taught by their advisors is also very important.
Also, counseling is not available in India right now to everyone. So
Yeah,
they
one
are,
question, one
yes.
question. One of the known I was talking to. So she was and she and along with her parents was in great dilemma. What subjects should he go for? So I don't know. They were looking for the counselor, and everybody suggested them that you should counsel for the subjects. So the thing is, one second, guys. So the thing is, when they approached to counselor, the counselors were like, "We can tell you the future you are looking by your fingerprints. I do not know how fingerprints will tell like what kind of future or what kind of career you are having imprinted in your DNA. That part would be fun to know. So anybody know about this? Yeah, Umang or
Palmistry.
Like,
I would like to add another point on this. Like, I believe that there is no sense of happiness among students in India. Like in this early years, there is so much confusion. It consists of self-dignity, and there is so much competition which consists of ego. So I think that there is no sense of happiness among students in India. Like, do you all also believe this?
Yes, Celine.
Yeah, and I also wanted to add to your point was, um, shit, I forgot what I was saying. Um, okay, what is your point about freedom of education, right? So I had something like that. You know what Anshuman had said. You know, many times I thought, you know, what how good it would be if we had something like that in place. But there are some problems, obviously, because many people don't get their calling. Even at age 50, some people start getting their calling, like the Nika founder, who started her business at age 50. Even the founder of Alibaba, who started very late, he was a teacher up until then. So many people get their call. It is very sometimes things are written in your destiny. Some things are written how it is previously written, how it is going to unfold in your life. So yeah, I I am in favor of that freedom of education, but obviously it needs to be in some control, or some, you can't just give randomized subjects to teenagers and expect teenagers to get to nail everything they want yeah, at that age. But at least that will give them the conviction to choose, to believe in their decisions, and and to live with their decisions, that if they decide right now, they'll have to pursue that, or maybe work on that. So there are some life decisions that can be learned if we go down that path. But then I don't know how how profitable, or that how what are the like this is very uncharted territory right now.
Yes. So before we end the session, any ending points anyone have? Because we are at the end of the session. No? Lavanya, you? Yes, Anshuman.
Yes, I think everyone should try a whole lot of things, and yeah, like Celine mentioned, a lot of people aren't able to find their calling in life, or like the right. I mean, the right business or the right profession for them until late in life. And then I think, yeah, I mean, until then, maybe I think people should do whatever, makes them the happiest. And yeah, and then when they do find it, go ahead. Yeah.
True. So we discussed a whole lot of things, but before we sign off, like, do your part in whatever you can. You can tutor someone. You can help someone to get a good education. You can guide someone and let them know what the fields available are and what interests them, and they can follow that. Do your part and try to uh, have more people educated, I guess. So thank you everyone for joining in, and that's it. Devyanshu, you can stop the recording, please.